folks, here's a quick demo video on how the common household shredder has changed for the modern world here. You know, to the right I have got just an old school typical, you know, Office Depot, Office Max, whichever one of those companies is still around, Staples. You know, your typical shredder that basically cuts things into long strips. And over to the left, I've got an Amazon branded, I think I paid like 60 bucks for it, but it's well worth it, a Microcut shredder. So, you know, obviously the Microcut's a lot bigger. Neither of these is giant, but the Microcut is so heavy, it's actually got wheels. This thing's well over 20 pounds, which is kind of crazy. I think the first thing to do, well, one, it's obvious. You need a shredder. I don't care who you are, in this day and age, you need a secure way to dispose of documents. Unless you're burning them, which, you know, under most cases is probably not ecologically responsible, and in a lot of cases is dangerous. You really want to be rid of things that allow identity thieves to easily get you. What's great is if you put it in the trash or the recycle without shredding it, it could be 10 or 15 years from now that people steal your information. So you're not safe if you're just throwing that stuff away. So we're going to start here. I actually have a couple of the same bill that I want to shred that I will run through. So this is it's really a single sheet, but it's folded over 3 times. The one on the right is rated at 6 sheets. The one on the left is 8. At 8, even that Amazon is really bogging down. But let's go ahead and do a shred demo here. So let's see if I can get this guy going. All right, that went pretty well. All right, you'll notice the noise is quite different, and yes, that kind of you hear that higher pitch after the paper's done. That is something you'll get every single time. It's not really struggling, it's kind of trying to auto feed more sheets in case you keep feeding in more. Now, okay, so both seem to do a pretty good job. However, one of the first things you'll notice is on the outside, the standard old school just strip shredder is really dusty. It's not dusty because it's sitting around in a lot of dirt and dust. It's dusty because it jams all the time. You have to pull the paper out to try to fix it, and it's paper dust. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, lift the lid. And one of the first things you'll see is that this is not secure in the least. This is only 10, 15 pieces of paper max. And you get too much more than this. These things act as springs, and they will force the paper back out, so it's going to jam on you. But more importantly, you know, even your not so great identity thief is going to be able to take strips of paper. I mean, I can clearly read what's on this and put this stuff back together. One, there's not enough stuff in here to confuse someone as to what goes where. And 2, I mean, they're nice, neat, long strips that you can just put right back together and reassemble. So that's awful. Now, in a modern shredder, again, this is a Microcut shredder. Kind of a step between is a crosscut. Don't even bother. Now, this is just a regular consumer model. They're rated on size of particle that it makes. This is kind of middle of the road. I honestly don't remember if this is a 5, a 6, a 4, but this is average here. And we have a nice little bin. Take a look at this. Do you think in a million years the average person, or even law enforcement, is putting this stuff back together? Especially if there's like 150 sheets in here, which is awesome. There's no spring effect, so you can keep shredding and shredding and shredding, you know, and you can empty this when there's, you know, 150 sheets in here. I don't know if it really holds that many, but you can. I've actually never emptied it, and I've put in a lot. So, you know, it's very convenient. You know, you just kind of slam her back in here and get it right. All right, well, that was a chore. But still, as you can see, you know, you empty it out and you're ready to rock again. These things are so efficient that you actually have to be a little slow with them. They will overheat. Apparently there may be a need to lubricate them. I see a lot of lubrication sheets. I haven't really had this one this long, maybe just 2 or 3 months. But there you have it. You know, it's just so much more convenient for the amount of particles it stores. It's so much more secure because the particles are tiny. You don't get that spring effect. You don't get all the dust because it doesn't clog, it doesn't jam. Now, like anything else, I have tested it. You don't want to go more than 8 sheets. You probably don't want to go 7 sheets. 5 or 6 is fine. Also, don't do whole envelopes. I had one jammed in there for the longest time. What I had to do was kind of find a corner where it would grab something. It finally grabbed it, and then it pulled it through and forced out the envelope with the plastic on it. One other nice feature of more of modern shredders, regardless of style, just like this one here, there is a slot here that you can shred disc with, Blu-rays, DVDs, CDs, whatever, or obviously credit cards. Now, I will say on this model, that is a strip cut, but that is still a lot better than leaving one intact. It's certainly going to disable it. If I were concerned, I think maybe what I would do is just cut out the number part, cut that with some scissors a few times, and then shred the rest of it. Or you could always put half of it in here, shred it, throw it away, and then, you know, a month later throw the other half away. You know, there's always ways around it. But, you know, there you have it. If you don't own a shredder at all, you need to get one. If you don't have a shredder, or if you've got one of these terrible strip jobs, you need to get a Microcut shredder. It doesn't have to be an Amazon one. I can tell you this one worked. You know, yes, they delivered it to my house for free. That was awesome. I got it, I think, the day after I ordered it. But, you know, buy something that appeals to you, that's in your price range, that has features you want. But by all means, if you want to keep your information that is leaving your home secure, get a good Microcut shredder, and hopefully you can avoid some grief later down the road. All right, that's it. Thanks, everyone.